didn't really want that. So this just says that they're going to pay for it. Okay, buyers advised to read the BIA, the Buyer Inspection Advisory. And number E, very important. Other brokers, buyer represents that the buyer has not entered into an exclusive representation agreement with another broker as far as representing the buyer in acquiring real property. Read this to them and watch their body language. Because if they start twitching, what do you got?
Liars.
They've got liars, yeah. So this is why it's spelled out. We're talking about the expectations. We're talking about, I'm not going to waste your time, Mr. Buyer. On the other hand, you're not going to waste my time, okay? And then, of course, you have the Buyer's Inspection Advisory. Most people aren't using the statewide buyers and sellers anymore because we're using the SPQ, but on the seller side, this is the entire agreement between the properties and things like that, etc. So you've got it, you're going to sign it, they're going to sign it, we're going to be happy campers, and then we're going to go on to the BIA, which I'm not going to teach to. But again, Buyer's Inspection Advisory, they're going to see with the BRN any of the buyer realtor agreements. And when are they going to see it the next time? In their RPA, because remember the BIA is attached to your RPA as part of the contract. But if you give it to them now, you've got them set up for a lot easier time when you're doing your offers. Okay? Question?
It says that the legal action is limited to this agreement. So how does it protect you from being sued regarding the real estate contract? Read that. Time to bring legal action. Legal action for breach of this agreement.
Any obligation arising thereon shall be brought no more than 2 years from the expert. But it's for any other obligation arising thereon. That includes anything going forward from this agreement.
Attached to it.
So anything, your contracts, your counteroffers, your inspection reports, you've got a 2-year statute because of that.
Oh, okay.
2 years from
it's
the
not
next date.
okay. Any other
Stated.
obligation?
Right.
Okay. It's kind of implied, but it's not spelled out really clearly. That it's
Well, no, it's just anything that goes forward.
okay.
And then again, you just have the entire agreement, which we've already had, as far as that. Says you can have, facts, whatever. Any questions on this? I'm going to try and go through both of them quickly, and then we'll go back to it. Let's just put this one down, and let's get you the BRE. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the BRNE is in your form set, and why go there? Why go there and think that you're going to be representing them and then find out that they've screwed you? So just forget it, okay. So again, this is very, very important. Same thing, we have to identify the buyers. Let me just remind you, in all contracts, if you have to, if you don't have room for all the names of the buyers up there, then I want you to put a signature addendum here, just say see signature addendum, and you're going to identify all the buyers, because in the state of California, you don't have a binding agreement unless you have all the persons that are going to be signing signed. So make sure that you use the addendum if you have to. We have South Bay Brokers. We have a beginning and ending date. We talk about the agency. We just basically, if you go through this, it's exactly the same. However, we get down to paragraph 3, and it says compensation to the broker. Okay, so this is the big real thing. This is why it's easy if you do the BRNN early with them. Then when you whip this out and you start talking about it, they've seen all this other stuff. They're comfortable. Now we get down and we say, okay, so here's the thing. Even though the amount of compensation is not fixed by law, the broker can set it, the seller can set it, here's what I need. I need to work for more than a half an apple. They're only offering me a half an apple, so I'm going to suggest that we ask them for 3 apples. And, and I tell them, I will go, first of all, to the listing company, and I will say, I've got a good buyer, I've got a good offer, and I need more compensation. And I'll try and get it from the seller first. That's what I will do. Because we all know that with some of the alternative brokerages, which we can't talk about, we do have this problem. And I've had very good success by going to the other agent, sending them a compensation agreement prior to sending over the offer, and I've usually gotten paid. And I explain this to my buyers, how I'm going to do it. But if it won't work out, here's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to either have the amount of compensation, you've got 1, 2, or 3. Remember, we're only going to check 1 at a time. First of all, you've got a percentage, which is the way we usually look at things. Or you can have a dollar amount. You may be working just for a set net commission. You can have the dollar amount, or you can have the compensation agreement attached as an addendum. So You could do your compensation agreement, the CAA sending it over to the other broker, attach it as an addendum to here so they can see what you're doing. I think it's probably easier to be very transparent and do it up front, and I don't have a problem with that. Okay, the broker's right to the compensation. You've got talking about the extension of time, and you've got to know that, you know, and you also have a calendar days. This is a protection